Have you ever encountered someone who simply wouldn't accept your true age, someone absolutely certain you were several years, perhaps even a full decade, younger than the date etched on your birth certificate? Initially, it might seem like a flattering remark, a harmless compliment that brightens your day, correct? However, what if I revealed that there's a rather unsettling reality simmering just beneath the surface of that seemingly innocent observation? Looking younger than your chronological age isn't solely attributed to fortunate genetic predispositions, exorbitant anti-aging skin creams, or simply winning the genetic lottery with favorable DNA. No, it's actually a stark and unflinchingly honest reflection of your inner landscape, encompassing your psychology, your prevailing mindset, and the myriad of daily choices that subtly but powerfully sculpt your life. Imagine this: what if the cumulative stress you carry, often unknowingly, secretly chips away at your lifespan, stealing precious years from your future? Furthermore, consider that the resentments and grudges you harbor, the emotional baggage you clutch tightly, might be literally carving themselves into the visible contours of your face, etched like lines of bitterness for the world to see. Today, I intend to illuminate the concealed and often overlooked connections that exist between your mental state, your ingrained habits, and the vibrant, youthful energy you project, or, conversely, the vitality you gradually lose. Therefore, the way you feel inside and your habits will show on the outside. Are you prepared to confront the potentially uncomfortable, yet ultimately empowering, truths behind why certain individuals seem to age at an accelerated rate, while others effortlessly radiate a timeless glow and possess an enduring youthfulness? Because once you truly understand this intricate interplay, once you genuinely perceive these hidden links, you cannot unsee them. Consequently, your reflection in the mirror may never appear quite the same again. Prepare to view yourself through a new lens, one that reveals the profound influence of your inner world on your outer appearance. Therefore, brace yourself for a transformative journey into the very essence of aging and the secrets to unlocking your own radiant youth. We all have that one friend, the individual who, against all odds, remains remarkably composed and untroubled, even when life hurls utter pandemonium in their direction. They embody, in essence, the profound adage, "Still waters run deep." Observing them, a question inevitably arises: what accounts for their serenity? Is it simply a matter of heredity or fortune? In reality, the answer is simultaneously straightforward and quite insightful: they have successfully learned to prevent stress from dominating their existence. It is crucial to understand this: stress poses a far greater threat than merely causing occasional headaches or tight shoulder muscles. It functions as a subtle and deadly force, gradually eroding years from your vitality. Prolonged stress inundates your system with cortisol, the well-known stress hormone. This is not merely a scientific concept, it's the unfortunate reality that underlies why some individuals appear exhausted and prematurely aged. Consider an individual after enduring several months of relentless anxiety. They carry their stress as if it were heavy, burdensome armor, furrowed brows, stooped shoulders, and weary eyes. This visible manifestation of stress is a stark reminder of its destructive potential. However, there's encouraging news to share: it doesn't necessarily have to remain this way. Individuals who successfully preserve their youthful vigor and vitality are not necessarily living entirely free of stress, rather, they have achieved mastery over a remarkably influential skill: acceptance. This acceptance is not passive resignation, but rather an active embrace of reality, allowing them to navigate challenges with greater resilience and grace. Thus, by embracing acceptance, they unlock the key to maintaining a youthful spirit, even amidst the inevitable storms of life. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, articulated a profound truth: you possess dominion over your mind, not external occurrences. Acknowledge this, and you shall unearth inner fortitude. These individuals, often possessing a youthful spirit, grasp intuitively that the genesis of most stress stems from resisting elements beyond the sphere of our influence. The endeavor to compel reality to conform to our desires proves not merely futile, it becomes emotionally draining. Consequently, These enlightened souls embody Stoicism's paramount precept, to relinquish control over circumstances we cannot govern and, conversely, to direct our entire vitality toward our responses. They have diligently cultivated the capacity to discern between what merits their focus and what constitutes mere extraneous clamor. As Carl Jung, the esteemed Swiss psychiatrist, eloquently expressed, "I am not the sum of my past experiences, rather, I am the architect of my future self." This profound realization serves as the pivotal key. It signifies that even when navigating a tumultuous period, one need not permit the turbulence to disrupt their inner tranquility. Your mindset, the manner of your reaction, the choices you make, these elements define your subjective experience, eclipsing the impact of external happenings. Contemplate the scenario in this manner. Envision the accidental spillage of coffee upon your garment immediately preceding a crucial assembly. One pathway involves succumbing to panic, descending into a spiral of irritation, and carrying that pervasive tension for an extended duration. Alternatively, you can simply acknowledge the occurrence, swiftly adapt to the exigency, and proceed unhindered. By choosing the latter, you reclaim agency over your emotional state and prevent an insignificant incident from overshadowing your entire day. Thus, cultivating this Stoic approach equips you with the resilience to navigate life's inevitable challenges with equanimity and poise. The same occurrence can lead to dramatically different consequences, a testament to how we navigate life's challenges. Individuals who successfully maintain youthful vitality exemplify a specific set of behaviors. Namely, they demonstrate a remarkable ability to adapt quickly to changing circumstances. Furthermore, they consciously choose not to fixate on past misfortunes. And perhaps most crucially, they carefully select the conflicts they engage in. This proactive approach transcends mere momentary comfort, it constitutes a profound investment in your sustained well-being and vigor. Therefore, when you purposefully and mindfully manage stress, your body responds favorably. As a direct result, your complexion retains its clarity and radiance. Your posture exhibits enhanced alignment and grace. And your overall energy levels experience a noticeable surge. Consequently, you begin to project a more youthful appearance because, quite simply, you feel more unburdened and invigorated. This is not mere optimistic speculation, it is a tangible demonstration of the interplay between practical psychology and human physiology in real time. Thus, here is a concrete action you can undertake immediately. The subsequent time that stress begins to mount, intentionally take a step back, create a deliberate pause, and engage in deep, measured breathing. Genuinely breathe, not merely shallow, rapid inhalations, but profound, soothing breaths that effectively recalibrate your nervous system. Or, even more advantageously, acquire a notebook and meticulously record the source of your anxieties. Journaling is far from a contemporary fad, it is a genuinely therapeutic practice. It is scientifically corroborated to diminish cortisol levels, promote clarity of thought, and alleviate emotional weight. In essence, it's a powerful tool for proactively managing stress and safeguarding your long-term health. It allows you to confront challenges with resilience and grace, ultimately contributing to a more vibrant and fulfilling life. The simple act of writing things down allows you to gain perspective, and often, solutions appear where once only problems existed. Consider that the caliber of your existence is inextricably linked to the caliber of your responses. Each composed reaction, each instance where you choose not to be agitated by external disarray, propels you further toward safeguarding your vitality. This doesn't imply passivity, rather, it underscores the importance of selectivity. Conscientiously determine what merits your emotional investment. As the Stoic philosophers wisely advise, life's tempests are unavoidable, yet internal turmoil, that rests entirely within your control. Have you ever encountered someone who seems perpetually ensnared in the identical daily cycle, the same sustenance, the same grievances, the same monotonous routines, and pondered how they became so inflexible? It's not solely their physical rigidity, it permeates their entire aura. Their countenance appears weary, their energy feels weighty. It's as though time has suspended their joy while accelerating their aging process. And then, in stark juxtaposition, there exists that individual who spontaneously enrolled in salsa dancing at the age of 50, or resolved to acquire proficiency in a new language seemingly out of the blue. They are radiant. You can perceive it in their posture, their skin's luminosity, even their manner of articulation. This isn't attributable to cosmetics or enchantment, it's a testament to their connection with transformation. Therefore, by embracing change and consciously choosing your reactions, you not only enhance the present but also actively cultivate a more youthful and vibrant future. This conscious effort to control your inner world, as the Stoics so eloquently pointed out, allows you to weather any storm life throws your way, preserving your energy and enthusiasm for years to come. It's a powerful reminder that aging is not merely a chronological event but also a state of mind. Here is a truth that many people find difficult to accept: inflexibility accelerates aging, affecting not only your emotional and spiritual well-being but also your physical health. When you stubbornly oppose change, you are, in essence, resisting the very essence of life itself. The world around us is in a constant state of flux. Consider the changing seasons, evolving relationships, the rapid advancement of technologies, and shifting perspectives. Consequently, if you attempt to remain stationary in a continuously flowing river, you will inevitably experience immense strain and discomfort. Conversely, when you embrace the natural flow of life, allowing it to guide and nurture your growth, both your body and mind remain vibrant, alert, and, indeed, youthful. This profound concept has its origins in ancient wisdom. The Stoic philosophers were acutely aware of this principle. Epictetus, the eminent Stoic philosopher, once eloquently stated, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that truly matters." Reacting constructively, responding with wisdom, necessitates the ability to adapt, to be flexible, to relinquish preconceived notions of how life should be, and to actively engage with what is. In contemporary parlance, emulate water, not stone. Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, delved deeply into this concept when he wisely observed, "We cannot change anything unless we accept it." And this rings undeniably true. A significant number of individuals experience emotional aging not as a consequence of the passage of time itself, but rather as a result of their conscious refusal to embrace change and adapt to new circumstances. Therefore, embracing flexibility and adaptability is paramount to maintaining a youthful spirit and a vibrant life. A rigid mindset, on the other hand, becomes a self-imposed cage, trapping you in the past and preventing you from fully experiencing the richness and possibilities of the present. Thus, cultivate a fluid approach to life, and witness the blossoming of your mind, body, and soul. Individuals often find themselves ensnared within the confines of antiquated beliefs, tenaciously clinging to routines that have long outlived their usefulness, and steadfastly holding on to identities that no longer resonate with their evolving selves. This very state of stagnation becomes visibly apparent, gradually eroding their vitality and dimming their inner light. They experience a palpable loss of enthusiasm, a fading of their inner spark. However, a transformative shift occurs when one embraces openness to change, approaching life not as an unyielding, predetermined schedule, but rather as a dynamic and ever-unfolding adventure. This perspective fosters a sense of perpetual freshness, ignites an insatiable curiosity, and cultivates a youthful spirit that defies the passage of time. That radiant glow that we often speak of, that captivating aura, is not merely a result of skillfully applied lighting techniques. It emanates from a mind and a soul that have consciously chosen to keep the doors of growth wide open. Remarkably, the field of neuroscience lends credence to this notion. Studies have demonstrated that individuals who maintain intellectual and emotional agility, those who actively pursue the acquisition of novel skills, eagerly seek out fresh experiences, and deliberately challenge the monotony of their established routines, exhibit a significantly slower rate of cognitive decline as they age. Their brains, quite literally, retain a youthful vibrancy. The interconnectedness of the mind and body is an undeniable reality. The more actively and enthusiastically one engages with the world around them, the more readily the body responds with renewed vitality and vigor. Consider this analogy: a tree that gracefully bends with the force of the wind is far more likely to endure the tempestuous storm, whereas a rigid and inflexible tree, unable to yield, is destined to snap under the pressure. The same principle holds true for us as human beings. Flexibility is not a sign of weakness or vulnerability, rather, it is a testament to wisdom and adaptability, and it yields profound benefits in terms of our overall energy levels, our prevailing attitude, and the manner in which we present ourselves to the world. Thus, embracing change allows us to not only survive, but to thrive. If you've been experiencing a sense of being trapped, unchanging, or simply feeling your age more acutely recently, consider this straightforward adjustment: engage in something novel. It's not necessary for this to be a grand undertaking. Experiment with a previously untried recipe, choose an alternate path to your workplace, immerse yourself in a musical genre with which you're unfamiliar, initiate a conversation with someone you haven't connected with in several years, take a single, modest step into the unknown, and observe the profound shift in your emotional lightness. Consequently, you'll begin to perceive the world through reinvigorated senses, and that vitality, that youthful exuberance, it swiftly returns, rejuvenating your spirit. The underlying reality is that youthfulness is not determined by your date of birth, rather, it's gauged by your receptiveness to personal development. Individuals who readily accept transformation not only appear younger, they genuinely embody youth because they've sustained a dynamic flow of life within their very being. Have you ever observed how certain individuals possess an undeniable vitality? They radiate an inner spark, an energetic presence that causes you to disregard their chronological age. This isn't attributable to their hairstyle, their attire, or even their exercise regimen. It's rooted in something more profound and intrinsic. It's manifested in the manner in which they articulate their perspectives on the world. Their eyes illuminate with excitement when they acquire new insights. They pose inquisitive questions, delve into innovative concepts, and persistently pursue knowledge, not out of obligation, but stemming from an intrinsic, passionate desire. Thus, they are constantly evolving and, in turn, staying younger, both in spirit and in actuality. Indeed, right there lies curiosity, a profoundly underestimated key to preserving youthfulness, not only in spirit but also in the physical realm. Curiosity, in essence, acts as a mental sharpener, and a keen, alert mind, in turn, infuses vitality into every other aspect of our being. The very instant we relinquish our innate curiosity, the moment we cease to pose questions, stop marveling, and abandon our quest for knowledge, we begin to age in a manner that no topical cream can ever remedy. It's akin to our mind pressing the pause button, and with the passage of time, that extended pause begins to manifest itself in our diminished energy levels, our fluctuating moods, and even in the very lines etched upon our faces. The esteemed Carl Jung once penned the insightful words, "The genesis of something entirely novel is not brought about by mere intellect but rather by the fundamental play instinct." Consider the implications of that profound statement. Play is not an activity reserved solely for the domain of childhood. Instead, it is intended for anyone who desires to maintain a vibrant existence, and curiosity serves as the mature, sophisticated manifestation of that playfulness. It represents that intrinsic part of ourselves that constantly asks, "What if?" or "Why is that the case?" or "I harbor a desire to comprehend this more thoroughly." And when we consistently nurture and cultivate that inquisitive part of our inner selves, our brain remains alert and engaged, our outlook remains perpetually fresh and innovative, and our soul remains deeply connected and invested in the unfolding tapestry of life. Therefore, by embracing our inherent curiosity, we unlock a powerful elixir for perpetual youth. By constantly questioning, exploring, and seeking to understand the world around us, we not only keep our minds sharp but also invigorate our bodies and souls. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, also firmly believed in the transformative power of continuous inner development. Thus, let us all strive to cultivate a lifelong love of learning and discovery, for it is in this pursuit that we truly find the fountain of youth. Let us embrace the what-ifs, and why-nots, and how-cans, because within them lies the secret to a life brimming with vitality, purpose, and unwavering youthfulness. Seneca, the renowned Roman philosopher, once wisely stated, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This wasn't merely a philosophical reflection, it served as a stark admonition against the perils of intellectual stagnation. A mind allowed to become dull invariably leads to a life equally devoid of vibrancy and excitement. And let's be honest with ourselves, we've all encountered individuals who seemingly ceased intellectual growth the very moment they departed the halls of formal education. These are the people perpetually clinging to the same opinions, rigidly adhering to the same routines, and exhibiting a sameness in virtually every aspect of their existence. Indeed, one can almost physically perceive the burdensome weight of mental stagnation manifesting in their posture, their tonality, and perhaps most poignantly, in their palpable lack of wonder and curiosity. Conversely, individuals who actively cultivate and maintain their innate curiosity are those who find themselves in a state of perpetual evolution and self-discovery. They are the ones who spontaneously embark on new hobbies, immersing themselves in captivating documentaries in the wee hours of the morning, or unexpectedly delving into the intricacies of ancient philosophy simply because the subject piqued their interest. These individuals aren't driven by a need to validate themselves or prove a point, rather, they are simply nourishing their minds with intellectual sustenance because they genuinely revel in the process of learning and expanding their horizons. And here's a crucial insight that often escapes the awareness of many: your brain responds to stimulation in a manner remarkably similar to how a muscle responds to physical exercise. Engage it, challenge it, and it will become stronger and more resilient. Neglect it, ignore it, and it will inevitably weaken and atrophy. Furthermore, modern neuroscience provides compelling evidence to support this very notion. Curiosity, it turns out, plays a pivotal role in the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, within the brain. This surge of dopamine not only enhances our overall sense of well-being but also significantly improves our memory function and bolsters our emotional resilience, equipping us to better navigate the inevitable challenges and uncertainties that life throws our way. Thus, by embracing lifelong learning and cultivating a sense of wonder, we not only enrich our intellectual lives but also enhance our overall well-being and resilience. It genuinely reshapes your brain, effectively recalibrating it to maintain youthfulness for an extended period. Therefore, should you aspire to appear younger, experience youthful sensations, and essentially embody youth, commence by nurturing your innate curiosity. Dedicate just 15 minutes each day to delving into something novel. That's all it requires. Perhaps listen to a podcast that provokes your thought processes, immerse yourself in a book exploring a subject you've never before investigated, or even engage in a stimulating conversation with an individual whose perspective on the world diverges from your own. Curiosity, you see, isn't about attaining expertise, rather, it's about embracing the role of a perpetual student of life, consistently seeking knowledge and understanding. And by all means, don't hesitate to venture down those unconventional paths. Conduct whimsical searches on Google, enroll in that enticing art class, pose those slightly awkward yet insightful questions, and pursue wonder with the fervor of someone whose very well-being hinges upon it. Because, quite frankly, it truly does. Have you ever encountered someone who exudes an aura of heaviness, not necessarily due to their physical stature or gait, but rather due to the palpable emotional burden they seem to be carrying internally? You can discern it etched upon their countenance, a clenched jaw, a strained smile that barely reaches their eyes, eyes that betray a profound lack of rest spanning years. When you engage them in conversation, you encounter an impenetrable wall, a defensive barrier erected around their inner self. It's as if they've internalized their pain, their anger, and even their moments of joy, and now these suppressed emotions simply reside within them, silently and relentlessly dragging them down, diminishing their vitality and zest for life. This emotional baggage can manifest in various ways, affecting their relationships, their work, and their overall sense of well-being. It's a poignant reminder of the importance of nurturing our curiosity and embracing new experiences, as these can serve as powerful antidotes to the stagnation and emotional weight that can accumulate over time. By keeping our minds active and engaged, we not only stay younger longer but also cultivate a more resilient and joyful approach to life. That's not merely a fleeting mood, it's profound emotional weight, and incredibly, it manifests physically, impacting your posture and even accelerating the aging process. We've been conditioned to suppress our feelings, to maintain composure, to feign smiles despite inner turmoil, and to project strength through silence. However, the reality is this: suppressing your emotions doesn't cultivate strength. Instead, it induces tension, fatigue, and, over time, hastens the signs of aging. Stress and unexpressed emotions trigger the release of cortisol, that notorious stress hormone that degrades collagen in your skin, compromises your immune defenses, and depletes your nervous system. In essence, the sentiments you withhold contribute to premature aging. Carl Jung, the eminent psychologist, astutely observed, "What you resist, persists." This profound statement applies directly to your emotions. When you resist sadness, it doesn't dissipate, rather, it festers and intensifies. When you bury anger, it doesn't vanish, instead, it simmers beneath the surface, gradually eroding your well-being. Consequently, your body begins to shoulder the burden of emotions your heart refuses to acknowledge and process. We often erroneously believe that ignoring our emotions will make them disappear. However, the converse is true: they burrow deeper, entrenching themselves within our psyche. Slowly but surely, they diminish your energy, diminish your presence, and diminish your radiant glow. The weight of unspoken emotions creates a barrier to authentic connection and vibrancy. Therefore, acknowledging and processing your emotions becomes vital to overall health and well-being. Failing to do so is akin to carrying a heavy invisible load that ages you from the inside out. Consider now those individuals in your life who possess an almost ageless quality, radiating a perpetual sense of youthfulness. They are the ones who erupt in hearty laughter, unreservedly shed tears when moved, and boldly articulate their truths without hesitation. These individuals are demonstrably emotionally open, and this characteristic manifests in their very being. Their facial features appear more serene and relaxed, their energy exudes a lighter, more buoyant quality, and their overall presence possesses a captivating magnetism. But what accounts for this remarkable effect? The answer lies in the fact that emotional honesty facilitates the unimpeded flow of your internal system. Your feelings, in essence, are a form of energy, and energy, by its very nature, requires motion and movement. When you actively suppress this energy, it becomes stagnant and begins to fester. Conversely, when you allow it to move freely, you maintain a vibrant state of aliveness, both internally and externally. The philosophy of Stoicism is frequently subject to misinterpretation. Often, individuals mistakenly believe that Stoicism advocates for emotional suppression, a mere matter of gritting one's teeth and soldiering on, regardless of inner turmoil. However, this is a gross distortion of its true essence. Authentic Stoicism is not about feigning the non-existence of emotions, rather, it centers on achieving such a profound comprehension of them that they relinquish their power to control you. The illustrious Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wisely penned, "You do not have to turn this into something, it does not have to upset you." In simpler terms, acknowledge and experience the emotion, but resist being governed by it. Allow it to pass through you with the same fluidity and transience as a wave cresting and receding, rather than allowing it to accumulate and solidify into a restrictive dam. And when you genuinely embrace this practice, when you grant yourself the permission to fully experience your emotions without the burden of shame or self-reproach, you unlock something truly transformative and powerful within yourself. This newfound freedom allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and equanimity, fostering a deeper sense of inner peace and overall well-being. Therefore, embrace emotional honesty not as a weakness, but as a source of strength and vitality. Reconnecting with your inherent humanity allows you to provide your nervous system with much-needed breathing room, fostering a sense of authenticity, deeper connection, and, indeed, increased vibrancy. Emotional expression is far from a sign of weakness, it's an act of profound self-care, a crucial aspect of psychological hygiene, and your body instinctively recognizes the distinction. So, what immediate steps can you undertake to cultivate this well-being? The answer is remarkably simple: embrace honesty about your emotional state. If you experience hurt, articulate it. If you feel gratitude, express it openly and generously. If something burdens your mind, engage in dialogue about it. Reach out to a friend, put your thoughts into writing, permit yourself to cry without dismissing it as weakness, or laugh freely without suppressing it to maintain an appearance of maturity. This liberation, this capacity to fully experience emotions, is the very essence of what preserves your youthful spirit. You are likely familiar with that sensation when, in the presence of someone, your energy levels inexplicably plummet within mere minutes. You might struggle to pinpoint the exact cause, but your shoulders feel weighed down, your mood darkens, and suddenly, you find yourself more exhausted than you were prior to the commencement of the conversation. This is not a random occurrence, it's a phenomenon of energy transfer, a subtle but powerful exchange. Whether we consciously acknowledge it or not, the individuals with whom we choose to spend our time profoundly influence not only our thoughts and behaviors, but also our overall health, our mindset, and even the trajectory of our aging process. Therefore, be mindful of the company you keep, for it shapes you in ways you may not even realize. We are not merely passive recipients of words, instead, we are constantly absorbing a multitude of subtle cues, including tension, vocal tone, prevailing vibes, and raw emotion. Consequently, when one is perpetually immersed in an environment populated by individuals who habitually complain, relentlessly criticize, or proudly brandish bitterness as if it were a badge of honor, the cumulative effect can take a significant toll on one's overall well-being. Indeed, chronic exposure to negativity has a demonstrably detrimental impact. It elevates stress hormone levels within the body, leading to a cascade of physiological consequences. This, in turn, increases systemic inflammation, disrupting crucial bodily functions and even interfering with the restorative process of sleep. And, yes, it quite literally adds years to your perceived appearance, accelerating the visible signs of aging. Emotional exhaustion, that silent burden we often carry, does not remain invisible for long. It inevitably manifests outwardly, revealing itself on your skin, in the depth of your eyes, and in the very posture you adopt. The esteemed psychologist, Carl Jung, once astutely observed, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances: if there is any reaction, both are transformed. This profound analogy highlights the transformative power of human interaction. The individuals we surround ourselves with are never truly neutral entities. They actively influence our lives, either uplifting us and fostering growth or depleting our energy and hindering our progress. They either contribute to our ascent, helping us rise to our full potential, or keep us stubbornly stuck in patterns of stagnation. Therefore, sometimes the most radical act of self-care, the most potent form of nurturing one's own well-being, isn't necessarily a luxurious spa day or a fleeting indulgence. Instead, it lies in the deliberate and thoughtful process of rethinking your social circle. It requires a critical evaluation of the relationships you cultivate and a willingness to make necessary adjustments. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers renowned for their wisdom and resilience, understood this fundamental truth as well. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic thinkers, wisely warned, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. He recognized the profound impact that our social environment has on our character and our capacity for flourishing. Stoicism, it is important to note, is not about advocating for isolation or withdrawing from the world. Rather, it is about exercising mindful discernment and choosing our companions wisely, surrounding ourselves with individuals who inspire us, support us, and challenge us to become the best versions of ourselves. In essence, it is about proactively cultivating a social ecosystem that nurtures our growth and contributes to our overall well-being. Understanding that your inner peace is a treasure is paramount. It's a sanctuary not to be casually open to everyone, because both negativity and joy, as emotions, are remarkably contagious. Consider this: prolonged exposure to individuals who perceive the world through a pessimistic, even embittered, perspective can gradually, almost imperceptibly, darken your own outlook. Conversely, immersing yourself in the company of those who emanate optimism, those who articulate their thoughts with purpose and clarity, who consistently offer encouragement and upliftment, creates a palpable, positive shift within you. Your energy levels experience a surge, your thoughts become sharper and more focused, and your body responds with a sense of relaxation. These individuals, who laugh with genuine abandon, listen with profound attentiveness, and challenge you to elevate yourself without resorting to destructive criticism, offer something truly invaluable. And here's a fascinating revelation: engaging with them isn't merely a pleasant experience, it yields tangible biological advantages. Positive social interactions demonstrably lower cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress. Furthermore, they stimulate the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to pleasure and motivation. Intriguingly, research even suggests that these interactions can decelerate the process of cellular aging. Yes, you read that correctly. The presence of supportive and uplifting companions is not just nourishing for your spirit, it functions as an anti-aging treatment, extending its benefits to your entire biological system. Therefore, pause for a moment of introspection and pose these questions to yourself: in whose presence do you experience a sense of well-being and invigoration? Conversely, in whose company do you feel depleted and diminished? And, perhaps most importantly, why are you continuing to dedicate a significant portion of your precious time and energy to the individuals who reside within that second, energy-draining category? It's time to thoughtfully curate your social circle, prioritizing those who nurture your growth and protect your inner peace. This isn't about severing all ties or perpetually residing in a state of criticism, rather, it's fundamentally about discernment. It centers on the crucial recognition that your emotional bandwidth each day is finite, and consequently, where you choose to invest it holds significant weight. Safeguarding your personal energy reserve should not be misconstrued as selfishness. On the contrary, it represents a display of wisdom, a profound act of self-respect, and indeed, a valuable gift you bestow upon your future self. Therefore, consider this your challenge for today, a call to introspective action: carefully evaluate the composition of your inner circle. Deliberate upon the individuals who invigorate and uplift you. Furthermore, consider those who serve as a source of inspiration and motivation. Strive to dedicate a greater proportion of your time to these enriching relationships. However, acknowledging reality, complete avoidance of negative influences may prove unattainable, particularly when those individuals are members of your own family. In such instances, at the very least, establish firm emotional boundaries. Be deliberate and intentional in managing the mental and emotional space you allocate to these influences in your life. Because, ultimately, the essence of vitality and well-being transcends mere dietary choices or the frequency of physical exercise. It profoundly encompasses the individuals you permit to influence your inner spirit. If your aspiration is to cultivate a sense of lightness, project a refreshed countenance, and extend the duration of your life, then initiate the process by meticulously curating the energy that surrounds you. You don't require a multitude of acquaintances, 1,000 people clamoring for your attention. You simply need a select few, the right individuals, who genuinely support, encourage, and uplift you on your journey. They are the ones who add value and positivity to your existence, fostering a sense of purpose and well-being. So choose wisely and guard your energy jealously. By doing so, you are investing in a brighter, more fulfilling future. Have you ever been struck by the radiant aura some individuals possess? They enter a space and infuse it with vitality, not through boisterous behavior or ostentatious displays, but by virtue of an intrinsic quality, an almost magnetic charm. Their words resonate with conviction, their movements are infused with palpable energy, and their eyes gleam with an unmistakable spark. This isn't merely superficial, the result of cosmetics or genetic predispositions. Rather, it stems from a deep-seated sense of purpose that fuels their very being. Now, contrast this with the individual who begins each day already feeling defeated. They trudge through their responsibilities, punctuating each task with heavy sighs, their thoughts consumed by the dwindling hours until they can retreat to bed. Even after a full night's rest, their face betrays a persistent weariness, their posture is slumped and defeated, and their energy feels strangely hollow. It's not always the burden of advancing years that weighs them down, more often than not, it is an inner emptiness, a void that seems to swallow their vitality. A life devoid of passion, you see, can sap your strength in ways that no amount of anti-aging creams can ever hope to reverse. Here is a truth that many people are reluctant to acknowledge: passion functions as fuel for the soul, and when it is absent, your internal system runs cold, sputtering and struggling to maintain momentum. People who lead lives imbued with purpose, whether they are dedicating themselves to building a thriving business, pouring their creative energy into painting after their workday concludes, guiding and mentoring others, or simply striving for personal growth and self-improvement, they emanate a palpable glow. Consequently, they inspire those around them and leave a lasting positive impression. It's impossible to fabricate genuine energy, it emanates from within, a radiant beacon of authenticity. Carl Jung eloquently captured this essence when he stated, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Purpose, therefore, transcends mere busyness or societal definitions of success. Instead, it's about experiencing a profound connection to the work you undertake and the motivations that drive you. When your actions harmonize with your innermost truth, a remarkable transformation occurs, your physical being responds in kind. You experience fewer illnesses, your laughter resonates more frequently, and you navigate life with clarity instead of being mired in confusion. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of resilience and virtue, were acutely aware of this vital connection. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, would remind himself each day at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I have to go to work as a human being." For the Stoics, purpose was not a mere option or a desirable add-on, it was absolutely essential to a fulfilling existence. They firmly believed that every individual possessed a unique role to fulfill, a duty that aligned with the natural order of the universe. To disregard this inherent role was, in their view, to descend into chaos, a state of emotional and spiritual decay. In our contemporary world, this decay often manifests as burnout, that pervasive feeling of utter exhaustion and depletion. It can also appear as chronic boredom, a soul-crushing sense of apathy and disengagement, or the kind of unrelenting stress that seems to accelerate the aging process overnight. However, when you awaken each morning with a compelling objective to pursue, even if it seems insignificant at first glance, your entire biological and psychological system shifts into a higher, more energized gear. It's as if a switch is flipped, igniting a fire within and propelling you forward with renewed vigor and determination. This pursuit, this sense of purpose, becomes the very engine that drives you through life's inevitable challenges, allowing you to not only survive but to truly thrive. As you delve into the embrace of passion, your brain orchestrates a symphony of neurochemicals, most notably dopamine. This potent neurotransmitter floods your system, igniting feelings of pleasure and motivation. Simultaneously, your heart rate elevates, a telltale sign of excitement and engagement, as observed in numerous heart rate studies. Consequently, your entire being starts to reverberate with a renewed sense of vitality. Consider this analogy: passion serves as the very oxygen that sustains your soul. Devoid of it, you merely exist, simply going through the motions of life. However, when imbued with passion, you truly flourish, experiencing life's richness and vibrancy. Importantly, this passion doesn't necessarily need to manifest as some monumental, overarching life mission. You are not obligated to single-handedly eradicate world hunger or establish a groundbreaking company by tomorrow. Instead, passion can be found in the simple, everyday acts that resonate with your soul. This might involve dedicating yourself to writing just one page in your journal each evening, diligently practicing the guitar, selflessly volunteering your time, or cultivating a flourishing garden. The magnitude of the endeavor is inconsequential. What truly matters is the profound connection you forge and the deep sense of meaning you derive from it. Purpose, in essence, provides your life with its distinct form and structure, while passion infuses it with an unquenchable fire. Together, they act as a formidable shield, protecting you from the insidious emotional flatlining that prematurely ages individuals not only physically, but also within their very spirit. You can discern this lack of passion in the eyes of those who have resigned themselves to a life devoid of meaning, merely existing as they navigate their days. Conversely, you can equally perceive the radiant glow of purpose in those who burn with unwavering direction. Their smiles are not born from a life free of challenges, but rather from a life brimming with profound meaning and purpose. Therefore, I present to you this challenge: within the confines of this month, embark on a quest to discover something that genuinely excites you. Focus on just one modest goal, something that ignites your innate curiosity, evokes feelings of pure joy, or stretches your self-imposed limitations. Embrace the possibility and witness the transformation it brings to your life. Embrace your chosen endeavor with unwavering dedication and fervent enthusiasm. Begin each day with it foremost in your thoughts, and conclude each night with a sense of accomplishment, knowing you've progressed even a single step forward. Commit to this wholeheartedly, and I assure you, you'll not only feel more youthful, but you'll become more youthful. After all, youth is not solely determined by the number of years one has lived, it's about the vibrancy of your existence in this very moment. And the swiftest path to rekindling that life force is simple: discover something truly worthy of your waking hours and immerse yourself completely. Have you ever encountered an individual whose very presence seems to exude a sense of heaviness, even when they remain mostly silent? Their presence transmits an unspoken tension, their smile appears strained and unnatural, and their eyes seem to gaze right through you, as if their mind is preoccupied, trapped in another realm. More often than not, that somewhere else is the past, a past burdened with deeply rooted resentments, unvoiced pain, and lingering, unresolved grievances. And whether they consciously acknowledge it or not, these burdens are indelibly etched upon their face, plain for all to see. The sheer weight of the emotions and experiences we stubbornly refuse to release does not merely reside within the confines of our minds, it permeates our very being, residing within our skin, our muscles, our energy. And here lies the uncomfortable truth: grudges, quite literally, accelerate the aging process. It's not simply a metaphor, it's a physiological reality. When you cling to feelings of anger, betrayal, or perceived injustice, your body instinctively interprets these emotions as a state of persistent and unrelenting stress. Thus, your body suffers. Imagine your nervous system perpetually stuck in high alert, constantly misinterpreting the situation. It's as if it never receives the vital message that the perceived danger has passed. Consequently, it relentlessly pumps out cortisol, that notorious stress hormone, leading to a tightening of your posture and a noticeable decline in your overall mood. Over an extended period, the insidious effects of this sustained stress manifest physically, appearing as premature wrinkles, persistent inflammation, disrupted sleep patterns, and a pervasive sense of dullness draining your energy. You might invest a fortune in the most advanced skincare products, but ultimately, if you are still harboring deep-seated bitterness within, your body simply will not allow you to conceal it. The internal turmoil will inevitably surface. The renowned psychoanalyst Carl Jung once profoundly stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Holding on to grudges provides one of the most glaring illustrations of this very principle. You may believe you are merely recalling past events, simply remembering what someone inflicted upon you. However, in reality, that memory silently, yet powerfully, dictates your emotional operating system. This hidden influence subtly alters your perception of people, the manner in which you carry yourself, and even the very way you articulate your thoughts. Therefore, the act of letting go transcends mere healing of the past, it represents a profound reclamation of your future. It's about freeing yourself from the shackles of resentment and embracing a brighter tomorrow. The Stoic philosophers, masters of self-control and wisdom, possessed a particularly potent perspective on this matter. Seneca, the celebrated Stoic statesman and writer, eloquently wrote, "How much better to heal than to seek revenge from injury." For the Stoics, forgiveness was never a sign of weakness or submission. Quite the opposite, in fact. It represented a remarkable display of inner strength, the ability to rise above petty grievances and choose a path of peace and self-mastery. It's about liberating yourself from the prison of resentment and embracing a life of tranquility and purpose. The core philosophy revolved around liberating your mind from the incessant clamor of emotional turbulence, thereby allowing you to concentrate on matters of genuine significance. Resentments, in this context, were perceived as mere diversions, elements that siphoned your focus away from the precious present and contaminated your inner tranquility. Marcus Aurelius, the esteemed Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, eloquently resonated with this sentiment. He made it a daily practice to remind himself that others would invariably err, but his personal imperative was to resist succumbing to their level. Individuals who radiate a youthful aura, who maintain a certain lightness even as time progresses, frequently share a defining characteristic: they have mastered the profound art of relinquishment. They consciously prevent the actions of others from establishing a permanent foothold within their hearts. They deliberately opt for serenity over retribution, not because they were impervious to pain, but because they possess the profound wisdom to recognize that clinging to negativity inflicts a far greater wound. You can discern this liberating principle in their very posture, open, receptive, and relaxed. You can perceive it in their vocal cadence, gentle, engaged, and present. You can almost palpably sense it in their overall presence, calm, unburdened, and remarkably serene. And here's the truly astonishing revelation: scientific inquiry lends credence to this ancient wisdom. The practice of forgiveness has been conclusively demonstrated to induce a reduction in blood pressure, foster enhanced sleep quality, bolster immune system functionality, and alleviate chronic stress levels. All of these beneficial physiological effects are inextricably linked to the deceleration of the aging process. Therefore, by embracing forgiveness, we not only cultivate inner peace but also potentially extend our years of vibrant living. Releasing your grip, in essence, provides your physical form with the opportunity to mend. It is akin to ceasing the burdensome task of lugging around emotional baggage, at which point your body, as if expressing gratitude, declares, "Thank you, I can finally breathe freely." Therefore, I present you with this challenge: extend forgiveness to one individual or one circumstance within the span of this week. This act does not imply that the events that transpired were justifiable, neither does it suggest that the recipient is necessarily deserving of your pardon. Instead, it signifies that you are worthy of liberation. Commit the act to paper, articulate it audibly, and allow the weight to simply fall away. You might find yourself pleasantly astonished by the alacrity with which your energy undergoes a transformation. You might discover that your sleep becomes more restful, your smiles come more readily, or you simply experience a sensation of increased lightness within your own being. Youth, you see, is not quantified merely in years, rather, it is gauged by the degree of lightness with which you bear the burdens of your past, the audacity with which you confront the inevitable tides of change, and the profound intensity with which you actively choose to live your life. Therefore, safeguard your inner peace with unwavering vigilance, ignite and sustain the flames of your personal purpose, and deliberately relinquish that which serves only to weigh you down. You are inherently deserving of the vibrant sensation of feeling truly alive, both internally and externally. Now, should these words resonate with you on a deeper level, know that there is yet another insightful video poised and awaiting your attention on your screen, a digital gateway that promises to guide you even further along this path of self-discovery. Allow yourself to tap into its wisdom and continue resolutely forward on your chosen path. We extend our sincere gratitude for being a valued and integral part of the community. We eagerly anticipate the opportunity to connect with you again in our forthcoming video. We eagerly anticipate the opportunity to connect with you again in our forthcoming video.